And you are back into the Tortoise and Hare experience. We have a jam-packed show today. Welcome in, Max. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Holy cow.
Yeah.
It's going to be a day. It's going to be a day and a half.
It's already been half the day, so now we have the other half that we have to go
Starting much earlier than we normally do.
Way much earlier because...
I'm not normally up at these hours.
No?
No.
You're up at Rockstar hours, like at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
That's how you do it. It's my life.
Well, I'm usually up at 5 in the morning. That's how I start off my day. And then I go to bed by at least 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So that's...
What?
Yeah. Well,
really?
Yeah. That's my life right now.
You're the turtle.
I am.
Who knew?
So in every experience, we also like to start it off with an experience. And it's interesting because the last show, we kind of left on a cliffhanger.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right? Max was in the middle. Now, I don't know if the word evicted is the appropriate term, but
no, it is not. No, it is not. There is a fight ensue, and I'm dealing with some trauma at my establishment. I'm not even going to call it an apartment building anymore because it's less than that, I believe. So I'm dealing with some nonsense over there. And we'll see how that turns out. I don't know.
Okay. Well, has that been your experience? Or?
No, that's not been my experience.
Okay.
But I have found a wonderful new place that I think that I'm going to get. I'm putting that out into the universe that I want to have this. It's a lighthouse. An actual lighthouse on the beach. And, like the real deal.
That sounds fun.
I'm kind of mermaidy.
That sounds fun until like we get hit by a storm. And then,
I don't care. I'm from Florida. What do I care of storms?
Okay.
I'm a surfer. I'll be right out there. That's fine with me.
So that's been your experience finding a lighthouse?
That's my experience right now. Yeah.
Okay. My experience, and it's funny. We were just talking about my schedule. I'm usually up at 5 a.m. because I have 3 jobs. But now I just got let go of my morning job. I was working in radio for 2 radio stations out here in Los Angeles, and they just let me go yesterday, actually, as a matter of fact.
How dare they?
Well, it is the business, and if anything, I'm feeling more empowered because having that weird schedule did not allow me to have a life.
Right.
I was literally just always at work or somewhere else, and I really felt like I wasn't living my life. I wasn't taking advantage of just going out and just being a normal human being. I was just out there just constantly, slave to the wage, as I like to call it. So I feel good. It also made me realize that, and maybe you can go into this, Max, I don't know, or maybe you, Porl, but all my life I've had nothing but jobs. I've never had a career. So this kind of put focus into me saying, hey, you know what? I think I need a career because having a job is fine. It's cool for getting money, but at the end of the day, it's, I'm not going to be able to retire. I'm always just going to be kind of working and, again, slave to the wage.
I don't know. See, we're musicians and we have careers and not jobs because we often don't get paid. More than likely, we don't get paid. We're chasing royalties most of the time. And, you get a paycheck, and that's kind of a nice thing. It is. You're going to get that.
Well, now I just get like 1 or 2 paychecks instead of like 3. But the morning one was like, that was the big paycheck.
Right.
The way it's going to work right now is I'm just going to be getting by. I'll be paying my bills. I'll be paying my rent, but that's it. I'm not going to have any kind of extra cash. So, which is good because, again, I'm not going to be spending much on gas because I'm not going to be using my car much. So that worked out.
There's balance somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And
this is heartbreaking.
Why is it heartbreaking?
Because the last show you were talking about trying to, change your life and you're going to, do all these new exciting things and, letting go of the past. And now you're like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not using my car. I'm not spending any money. It's like, come on, spend your money, live a little, get some experience.
Maybe I will. I don't know. It's only like 2 days into this transition, and it's a real change. A year ago, there was a lot happening, and now it just feels that this year it's super change. It's a complete 180 from what I was a year to 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So
sometimes when you get that space, it gives you a chance to actually get the introspective and realize there's other channels you need to go through.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened with me, and I think I needed that in my life. I felt like I was just way too stagnant, especially with that schedule I was keeping for about 8 months, and that really kind of drew me into kind of more of a recluse than anything.
Yeah.
And it's time to exit the shell.
Right. Yeah, you got to get out there.
Now, Porl, we shared an experience that we're going through. We're wondering what experiences you were going through.
Well, complete change of life.
You too, huh?
Very much. Just commitment to new projects. Really just taking on things that I've wanted to do for a long time and never really had the time to do them.
Right.
Because obviously in the music world it's pretty full on. I mean, you start touring, you're away for 6-7 months, and then by the time you get back you're starting a new album. So you just do it again. It's great, but that's what you're doing. And I have other things that I want to do, so I've just decided to take time and just do those now, which everybody sort of thinks, wow. But
we're so excited about the new things that you're doing.
Oh,
incredibly so.
Very much so. So excited to the point where I was glad I was able to get you alone for about 15 minutes. And that was really fun for me.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, when do you ever get to spend time with like somebody that you really look up to, And we got to talk a little bit about music, especially some of the music that we're playing. We just heard the song Cobwebs by Ganja Sufi.
Ganja Sufi, yeah.
And I wanted to
cool
know.
Name.
Yeah, it's swanky too.
Best.
Major swank. And I wanted to know just a little bit about that band, that project.
I was with my friend Lisa, and my partner and I sitting in the back of the car, and I think we were stuck in Sunset Boulevard and just in a really bad traffic jam. And she put on this music, and straight away it was bam, who's this, and thankfully we got to meet up, and just really hit it off. We really got on, ended up in the studio together for about 8 hours non-stop playing, and then we met up the next day, carried on. Before we know it, there's like this whole ream of music just came out.
Is that weird when you're playing for 8 hours and then you're just like, you know what? I think I got some more music in me. Let's meet up tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it's good because you're right in the flow of something. You know that you've both got an energy that you link with, and you don't even have to describe anything to each other. It just happens, which is...
And when that magic is happening, you don't want to stop.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just because sleep limits, you have to sometimes,
You only stop because your fingers are hurting.
Right, you're starting to bleed a little bit. It's
yeah.
Well, I don't believe in like sleep limits, because I think sometimes when you...
Well, that's because you sleep a lot.
I sleep 4 or 5... Well, I used to sleep 4 or 5 hours. That was it. But, I think when you're in the process, like there are times where I'm so caught up in something that I will spend 22 hours. Then before you know it, I'm like, oh my God, it's been 22 hours.
Yeah, no, same really. As probably when I've done album covers, I leave it right to the last minute of the deadline, and then I just work 2 or 3 nights without sleep. Tend to just fall apart at the end of it. Really.
That's crazy.
You've done a lot of album covers, especially with The Cure.
Yeah.
What is that like? Like, are you thinking about what the band is trying to convey through the album, or are you just more of like, this is what I think my expression is for this album?
No, it comes from myself, but obviously, over the time that you're making an album, you start to really, everything starts to infuse, and you kind of get a picture of how you want to represent something. And thankfully, Robert and I had quite a similar outlook on visuals, so it was pretty good. There's good chemistry on that, and so I just would turn up with this thing and generally he'd say yes. You know, so
Some of the best album covers in history, I have to
thank
tell
you.
you. You know, when I was coming up in the music industry, I would wait for those to come out. You know, you go to Tower Records and you're like, because that's when art was art.
Yeah, and
you know, and now
the
it's
high
like,
formats were really good.
Right.
And
right.
now CDs and they're going as well now, aren't they? So it's
But
a
it's
shame,
very
really,
exciting.
because it was part of the whole process. You know, it was as exciting as you just finished a really good track, and then you go back and start scribbling and working on ideas, and then throw them away and do something completely different at the last minute. Yeah.
At the same time, I know what you guys are saying, but at the same time, I feel that I think we're at an age now where, you know, instead of giving one album a piece of art, now you can give each song its own unique art to it, and I think that should be
Well, you
kind
could do
of
that back in the day as well, because
Yeah.
inside, you know, there was where you had your liner notes. You could do a lot of art in there as well.
And singles and EPs.
Are you too young for that? Do you not know any of this
yes.
stuff?
Excuse me.
No, I'm just looking forward. You know what I mean? It's like like looking in the
grief.
past is back, but like, hey, you know, we still can spruce things up.
But how about if we take a little bit of the past and we bring it into the now?
Okay.
Because this is where we live. We live in the now.
Okay.
So let's not worry about what's going to happen. Let's just create it now,
Okay.
right?
No.
Yeah, you following me?
No, I'm not
at all.
at all.
Back in the shell.
Later, everybody. I'm out of here. I was wondering if you use the same process because you have. You're actually going to be in Los Angeles. I mean, you're here in Los Angeles,
Right.
but you're going to be exhibiting some of your art, right?
Thursday night?
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
That's what the 5th.
5th. Yeah.
The 5th, and that is going to be where? That's going to be at Mr.
Mr.
Music
Music
Head.
Head.
Yeah.
So for more information, go to mrmusichead.com. You're going to be there from 7 to 10,
I believe so. Yeah.
right? I was wondering about this art because I was reading up on it, and is it true that this art is some of it you got inspired by looking at cactus?
I was staying again with a friend in Malibu, up in the canyons.
It's called the Boo, by the way.
Is
Just
it?
next time, I was in the Boo.
Okay. Well, I was staying up in the Boo, and just woke up presented with this stunning view, clouds below, and my partner and I just got up, went to an art store, bought a load of canvas, and I just, for the next week, just painted, and it carried on from there. Really, it kicked into gear a lot of things that have been mulling down, you know, and bubbling away. And I've always had a feeling for the earth and what it holds, you know, not necessarily messages, but a vibe that seeps through. And so this just pulled it all together, really, and carried on from that.
Do you understand this?
No, not at all, but I'm just
Yeah,
taking it in
I
one
didn't
day at a
think
time.
You didn't understand that.
No.
It's like a...
No, you have to understand. I pick on Turtle all the time because he's, you know, Turtle is very about what he can feel and touch.
Yeah,
And,
well, it is a
you know.
feeling. If you're next to a huge boulder,
Right.
there is a
See?
feeling there, and there is an energy, and then just the perception of, well, maybe they know something, and they're just there, and this planet is working around that. You know, it's a perception, really, and I like to absorb it by being in it, and then take that away, and then work on the paintings from that. Not naturally depicting a landscape, but
You're more
drawing from it. And
is it depicting the energy?
yeah, there's a painter that in the south of England, and he used to quote, "Painting the warmth of the sun," and that's that image, ethos.
I don't paint, but I use a lot of crayons.
Uh-huh.
I think it's like really fun, you know, just to get any color and I do it at random. I'll just throw the crayons out and won't look, and I'll just, you know, just start drawing something, or I don't know. For me, the hardest part is the initial actual like putting down of something.
Emptying the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it hard for you, or is it exciting?
It's exciting. First thing I do is just scribble anything that's coming into my head, write, pencil, anything. Then I'll paint over that, and then I'll do it again, and then I'll paint over that, and I'll do it again until suddenly you start seeing a rhythm in the canvas, and that starts to be the basis of what you're going to work on. So there's a lot of layers to the paintings, even though that some of them look very like as if they've been painted in 10 minutes. They're generally not. There's generally about 5 or 6 paintings gone on in one.
Whoa.
Yeah, and a lot of poetry, prose, just descriptions of things, or even just what was in my head at the time. Sometimes I've even just written shopping lists and then painted over those, and So.
Is there a place where your fans can purchase your art?
Well, obviously, Mr. Music Head coming up this is a relatively new collection, really, within the last 2 years of work. So it's stuff that hasn't been seen. It's been on my website just each time something's been coming up, but this is the first time they've been actually seen in public. Yeah.
And what bang for your buck? You're buying one, piece of art, but it really has like 6.
Yeah. You got to use a X-ray machine to see them. Yeah.
X-ray machine sold separately, everybody.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that.
We have some amazing art down here at NoHo 2 Studios in the beautiful North Hollywood on Burbank Boulevard, and we want to thank Mark Doty for providing this space for us, and for any of our listeners out there that want to come down and check out the amazing artists that hang on our walls. We encourage you to do that. They're all for sale, and would love to be hanging in your home.
What I find interesting about you is like you have 3 different names. You have Pearl, you have Porl, and then you have Paul.
Yeah. It's actually officially Porl now.
Is it now?
It's legally changed, yeah.
Do people call you by the other names too, and do you answer to those?
No. No.
That's cool.
No, it's a complete, this is my new life, and,
Can you tell me about that? Because I'm trying to create a new life for myself.
Change your name.
Change my name? Is it that easy?
No. I'm just joking. Well, why are you trying to change your life?
I feel that, and you can help me, I'm really drawn to the past, and I've been sticking around in the past. There's a term that we use in the industry just called like rebooting the franchise.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like I need kind of a reboot. I really tend to hold on to things because I'm very like sentimental and stuff like that. So I'm during the course of last month, and I'm still going through it through this month. I've been trying to let go of a lot of emotions, a lot of things, a lot of people. I'm still trying to do that. Actually, I'm still going through it, and I started writing a journal just to kind of help my mental state. I felt that I needed that, just so I can go back and read and see who I was, and during the course of this, who I'm becoming. And you yourself have transcended yourself, a few times, and just wanted to see kind of your perspective of things and how you did it. Maybe that would help me.
Well, I mean, obviously, as you've just said, you've got space now to take time out and really think about things. Personally, I've been lucky because I've obviously had musical and art as 2 seeds that have always been with me, and there's always been a struggle between the two. Hence, doing album covers was the only way I could paint. It mixed in with the job, playing. So when you've got space to think, you need to go back to those seeds of what it was that triggered you to start out, and that's how I've really managed to morph into the personas for each time. Even from like early playing in The Cure, I was very, very into the guitar, very into what I could achieve with it. And then as time's gone on and I've left The Cure and rejoined a few times, just because I needed to do other things
Right.
and other areas. But it's an honesty with yourself, really. It's just following what is in your heart. And if you're struggling whether it's your job or where you've just ended up being, you have to be honest with yourself and take that. I mean, when the first time I left The Cure, we were at the height of our career, and everyone's saying you're crazy. But next thing I know, I'm working with Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, and
Not so bad.
which no way in hell would I ever thought that would happen. But I think it's when you embrace. There's a point. There's a line. You can stay on that line and carry on for how many years, and your mind can go dormant. But if you take that chance and step over, you just have to be in the hands of fate, really.
That's true. I always tell Turtle that, and all of our followers, that if you float, and just relax about your life and, let the world lift you up, that things will become a lot less stressful. And, when you're so worried about, what your next step is and, how things are going to proceed, how your health is going to be, where your money is going to come from, then everything seems to be, a problem.
You're just building up a case of stress.
Exactly. So if you, just let that go and enjoy your life. For myself, I deal with, I have systemic lupus and cancer. And if I were to put that into my thought process of poor me, then I would be stuck. I would be stuck in a shell.
Well, you've given yourself permission to fade, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, when I think about how many people are out there that are struggling, and I want to float and I want to lift them up with me. So that's what I try to encourage Turtle to do all the time.
All the time.
All the time, constantly. He doesn't always listen, but it's all right.
Yeah, but again, I don't always listen because I was so busy. But again, because I was let go of this job, now I do have that time. Now I have this nice little cushion of like, okay, I can now listen to people, and I'm not burdened by like, I'll get to it when I can, because right now I got to wake up and I got to go do all these things. So again, I look at all this as a good thing, a very exciting time personally in my life. And, I'm curious to see, what it was or what it is going to be like next year. I was talking to my friend Mike on the drive over here, and I was telling him about all these changes that's going on. And I was telling him that I'm looking so forward to next year, and I know I shouldn't be like looking into the future, but I was just looking forward to, because I was like, like right now it just seems that my life is changing so much, but I know within a year I'm gonna have figured out what was going on. I just need to go through that journey.
Well, yeah, but you've already started processing a journey instead of being in your journey just by looking ahead. I think in the situation you're in now, you need to try and sustain as much as you can. Obviously, there's elements you need money, obviously, to satisfy the rest of the world. But instead of projecting what it's going to be like in a year, just deal with now. Try and really see what it is you do want to be, and just take it in its moment. It's a difficult one.
Yeah.
It's a difficult space, but it's also an exciting space.
Very exciting. I'm excited because we still have tons of music that you have brought forth to us. And I want to hear another song. We heard Ganja Sufi, but I want to hear this Swanson Daughter. This is Butter Knife. Now, are you a fan of butter and toast, or is that like...
Are you gluten-free?
No. Not fond of eating, really. But,
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
You're not fond of eating?
I'm a grilled cheese and pizza person.
Okay.
With the occasional milkshake.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
For milkshake, what kind of milkshake do you like?
Really exciting strawberry.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. We have Lisa Johnson here with us. Lisa, do you have any questions or anything? We have an open mic. Thank you, by the way, so much for bringing us Pearl here. Really appreciate it. And that means a lot. Like, we had Lisa on, I think it was 2 shows ago, and she was... she loved the show. I think I think she told us that she's never been on a show like this before. And
Well, I
No,
don't
not
think
right.
anybody has. It's our own little creation.
That's good.
yeah, and she was like, you know what? Are you familiar with Porl Thompson? And I wanted to immediately say, you mean the guy from The Cure? You know, but I held back and I was like, no, I don't think.
I just gasped.
But you know, sometimes you got to play it cool. You know, like
I couldn't. It just right out of me.
she's like,
There's
well,
no
yeah.
cool here.
She's like, yeah, well, I think he would be perfect for something like this. This is kind of right up his alley. She's like, I'll reach out to him and see what's going on. And she did. And, you know, I'm curious about how she pitched the show to you.
She just said that she'd enjoyed the atmosphere and the vibe, and everybody had got on friendly. I'm not very good at interviews. I tend to get pretty nervous, and so coming into an atmosphere where it's more informal and just almost like a conversation. Well,
Right.
it is a conversation. So I just smacked the mic.
It's cool.
Yes, just more at ease.
Right.
And it's a good sofa.
It is a good sofa. That's a new addition to
That's
our
cool.
Yeah.
set here.
We saw that sofa.
Even color coordinated.
You are.
It's perfect.
We saw that sofa earlier because usually we have a couch or we have chairs and stuff like that. And then I was with my producer Denim, and he's like, "Dude, we gotta use the couch." And I was just like, or the sofa, and I was like, "Oh my God, we haven't used it." Yes. and so it's funny because, like, you know, it went through a few stages. We got it and we put it up on the stage, but it was like way too high.
Right.
And then we're like, okay, let's bring it down. So we finally brought it down. We're like, okay, that seems more appropriate. But again, the space that we're so used to using was then hindered by it. Not hindered, but it was just more awkward.
Right.
So we had to work around that. And I think it created much more of a, you know, more intimate setting than we usually do. But it worked out. Has something like that ever happened with you where you're moving a couch or something like that and you find like you're moving it at so many different spaces?
Well, my partner generally moves things.
You don't help her?
No, she's stronger than me. And I'll be sitting and I'll crash out and fall asleep, and when I wake up, the room's completely changed. And okay, yeah,
I think she's sitting over there redecorating this room right now.
probably, yeah.
And she's
You jest, but
gorgeous
she
too.
probably
We'd love to introduce her. Is that possible?
Can we? Would you
Is
like
that
to say
okay?
anything? Yeah, okay, you want to step over to that mic real quick? No worries. Are you sick or something?
I just don't want to.
Are you a fan of Michael Jackson? Is that he's usually?
It's a Japanese thing.
Yeah. There's a right there.
Sorry, I'm
No worries.
sitting next to you.
Go ahead and say
Hello.
how's it going.
Good, thank you.
So, what'd you have for lunch today? Is that weird?
I haven't eaten anything yet.
Oh no.
so
Well,
Okay.
there's cheese and hummus back
Wine.
there and wine.
I haven't eaten anything yet because we're not used to being awake this early.
You see, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Guys operate on rock star hours.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for coming. And,
Are you going to be down at Mr. Music Head on Thursday?
Yes, I'll be sneaking around, taking pictures, and giving Pearl water and wine. Just to chill out. Yeah.
I need to be there too, so you can give me water and wine too. I'll be like, Pearl needs more water and wine, but bring 2 for me. That's cool. What is it like to be kind of, you know, the partner of Pearl? And I know that sounds weird, but like to be around creative people, you have to be creative yourself, you know. And it's, sometimes you have to push each other, you know. Or is he
Definitely.
pushing you, and are you pushing him?
I think just each other, or just to have creative friends and be in that energy and feel that ambiance and feel like, you know, oh, I'm feeling a bit crap today, I don't want to do anything, it's just like, okay, well, give yourself time to think about it, don't stress, and then there's next week, there's tomorrow, then do it. And then like sometimes I'm just sitting around drawing and I just feel like, oh, this is shit, and I scratch it off, whatever, burn it in the fire, and just like, I don't care, I don't want to do anything anymore, it's not good enough, and your confidence goes up and down,
Right.
down. And then I just, like, I see Pearl painting the wall, in the bedroom, just out of nowhere, I wake up and there's just this painting there, and I'm like, all right, well, there's a blop on the floor of paint, and I feel like it's meant to be there, so why not continue my drawing, and it's meant to be there, and if it makes one of my friends smile, or friends, or the neighbor says, oh, I like what you've done to your face, and I cover my face in makeup and splotches of paint, and we've gone out to the grocery store, and I've had like painted flowers on my face and stuff, and they're like, oh, where are you going? Like, are you going to like a party or anything? I'm like, no, I just felt like doing it.
Great.
And I think to put that out there in the world, that's like, you don't have to, be doing an art gallery to do art. You don't have to be like this rock star thing to dress up however the hell you want,
Exactly.
And I feel like it makes life more fun. And if you're having fun, it makes your life healthier. So if you're in that, it's better to be artistic than to be boring, I feel like, so I do feel really lucky that I am like a part of that and also contribute to that energy. And that's not just between me and Pearl. It's like anywhere we go in the world, whether it's to Mexico, whether it's in the UK or here in LA, whatever, like I love that feeling of no matter where we go, we have love for each other, and people see that, and yet it just goes back and forth like ping pong, like art, like I dig your style, we get that from like a bum down the street. He's like, whoa, you guys, cool. Like, oh, cool, I like your cricket hat, So, yeah.
It's inspiration.
Yeah,
and
inspiration.
That's,
You just treat everyone equally, so I'm not like, intimidated or whatever. But like I said, we all have moments where we feel like, shit, I don't want anybody to see this drawing because it's not good enough.
Right.
But then you feel like, oh, what is there to be afraid of?
Right. It's
Yeah.
always good enough. If
Yeah.
it's if it's in your eye and if it's in your heart, it's good enough.
Hmm.
So never put a label on anything, or it's like a gold star. It's expression, and that's the bad part about art, and especially in a lot of the galleries is like,
Yeah.
well, where have you hung before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hanging now.
Yeah.
In my bathroom?
Right, exactly. and that's all good for me. So,
Yeah.
Cool.
right?
Well, thank you so much for
Cheers.
sharing and contributing.
Joining us, the
Cool.
beautiful
Yeah.
Diana.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
You're doing great. I'll
Thank you,
continue. I'm going to
Yeah.
go sit down now.
Okay, you can put your face mask back
Yeah.
on
Try
now.
not,
so
help
she
me not
doesn't-
cough.
Now, Pearl, one of the, in life we're all influenced. And today I have with me some people that have influenced me in many ways. One of the people is my brother, who actually introduced me to The Cure. And he's right there. I think he has a question because he's up. So go ahead and, say something.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. I know it's sometimes difficult to receive compliments, but I just wanted to personally thank you for providing the soundtrack to my life. I know your art has been very inspirational in my life, so I just want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
But my question is, being an artist, being part of such an iconic band, and then moving into another iconic band, do you find that as an artist that is freeing, meaning that you have the liberty, or it makes you feel freer to be able to express yourself by saying something like, I have more credibility or something like that? Or do you feel kind of confined, maybe that you've reached excuse me, such iconic levels in your art that you feel that you have always something to prove with whether it's with your music or with your art? Maybe something to prove isn't the actual sentiment, but something to that level where you're always striving to, I know as artists you're always striving to do your best, but I guess, is it kind of like a hindrance, or is it kind of a little freeing to you? So, if that makes any sense.
That's quite a lot of questions in one, really.
Now you can see where I get it from. Right.
Obviously, playing in the bands, you're working with other people, and in The Cure, it was a very collective in the writing. There was a lot going on between the five of us. And so that was quite, I wouldn't say restricting because it's not the right word, but you're part of an element, and then moving on from there, going to obviously working with Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. I was working for them, and so that was freeing in the sense that I didn't have to translate our songs. I had to work with some people and play guitar on their songs. So it was a different element. As a hindrance, I don't think it is a hindrance. The only hindrance is in your mind that you kind of don't want to be, well, personally, I want to be in the now and this is what I'm doing. And so references to the past in things like advertising, I understand that it has to be there because obviously people need to be drawn into something. But that's only a hindrance in the mind that you really want to be in the present. And I'm Pearl, and now I'm painting. And it's not so much to do with how famous you are or anything. It's actually just to do with that's really where you want to be and what you're doing.
And speaking of paintings, I mentioned this once, but on Thursday, you are going to be showing your paintings at Mr. Music Head Gallery. For more information, log on to mrmusichead.com. That's Thursday, March 5th from 7 to 10 p.m. Now, is this the only opportunity that people are going to have to see your work, or is it going to have somewhat of a residency there?
No, at the moment, that shows for about, I think it's about 2 weeks, 3, I'm not sure. 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then after that, haven't really thought about it.
Maybe over here at NoHo too.
That'd be cool. That'd be very cool. What would you consider doing an exhibit here at NoHo too?
I guess. I've only been here. If they, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really haven't taken on any sort of future ideas yet, and I really want to travel a lot more and pick up a lot more information to work with. I'm hoping to go down to Joshua Tree soon.
Oh, nice.
And just hang about there around there for a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of cactus out there. So
yeah, I do like my cactus. There's such amazing shapes that, because obviously the only cactus you get in England are in pots.
Right.
But
have you ever eaten cactus? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I thought it was nice.
Yeah. I'm Mexican, so like we call it nopales.
Okay,
so I'm used to going and getting fresh nopales and like actually like cutting them and then slicing them, dicing them, and throwing them. I put them in lentils, so it tastes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's.
Is it similar to like an aloe?
I don't know. I just do it. It might be. I don't know. What's aloe? I know aloe is
like,
aloe vera.
I'm drinking aloe right now.
Well, what's that from?
It's a plant that's similar to a cactus with little.
Okay.
It's kind of has like a jelly form to it inside. Does it?
It's more like a jalapeno without the sting.
Oh, I like the sting.
Yeah.
Sorry, jalapeno.
I got to have a little sting in my life.
Okay. So again, make sure to log on to mrmusichead.com for more. Now, I know in England you have a houseboat. Is that
right,
correct?
Yeah.
I was curious about how you do laundry on there.
Just chuck in the river.
You're like, hey, there, it's done. Now, since you're here in LA, do you have a houseboat here too, or
No. Just the houseboat in England. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever take it out on voyages?
No,
or anything like that?
it floats, but it's where we live is tidal. So sometimes it's on the mud, sometimes it's floating. But I would not like to see it floating out anywhere. Really, it's a little bit too top heavy, probably.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be like small. I've only seen houseboats, but like on TV.
No.
Unless yours is like luxurious or something like that.
No, it's an old torpedo ship.
No way, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's just had a basically a house built on top of it. So it's from Second World War. They were built to last just for the war, so they need a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty cool place to live.
Any ghosts in there?
None that I've met.
Yeah.
No.
I wonder. You know, because all of those those things have energy that they carry on.
Of course.
That's another thing that, you know, I have to scoot him along with.
No, you do it. No,
He's like,
that's
I don't know about that, Max.
no. I believe in ghosts.
Dude, well, you're Mexican.
yeah,
A lot of Mexicans
duh.
believe in ghosts, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Mexican shirt today. It's like, you see the little dolls on
I'm
here?
just looking at your tits right now. So.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
I'm glad that I provide that
I
for
can't
you.
even look at anything else. I'm like, oh, looking good today.
They're Mexican dream dolls that you put underneath your pillow, and they promote dreams.
And
So they're on top of my pillows tonight.
Don't they take away as well if you've
Right.
had
Nightmares and
and
It's kind of like a dream catcher, but like Mexican style
Yeah.
type thing. Okay. All right. Well, they should call them like dream, like something else. I don't know.
I don't know.
I was trying to think of something funny. Sometimes hilarity ensues. Sometimes it doesn't. That's just kind of my life. Sometimes. Do you know any good jokes, by the way?
I am rubbish at jokes. I'm really rubbish. I can never remember them. I hear one and think, oh, that's really funny, and then it's gone.
Okay.
Musicians generally don't tell good jokes.
No, they should have musician jokes. Like
artists and musicians. It's like.
Like how many
Head's too full of music. Can't
Right.
cram anything else in there.
I was trying to think of one right now. Like how many drummers does it take to load in a cymbal? Like none. Takes a roadie.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man,
I
That's
know.
not a joke. That's true.
that is true. But that was terrible. You should never tell a joke again.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you have to have a terrible joke so you can have a good joke. That's kind
But
of
that's the first time that you've ever done a joke on our show in 3 years, and it's not good.
Well, the next one will be better. How about that?
How about you just not do jokes anymore?
We'll see.
Let's leave it to the professionals.
We'll bring in a professional soon to do some jokes. I was wondering, lastly, what do you like to do, to just get away from everything and just to have like fun, because I envision you just walking around looking at cactus and flowers and just like painting or just doing creative stuff. But do you ever not do anything creative?
God. Shopping?
That's
no, I don't
creative.
know. Well, no, don't think so. The day starts and whatever presents itself, you get on with it. But I mean, obviously, just go and hang out with friends every now and then, watch a stupid show. But, I mean, we like really dressing up to the hilt and just going to like a fish and chip shop.
Okay.
Which is good fun.
I really want to hang out with
Cause
you
a
guys.
little stir, just
Yeah.
You get all these people just sitting in an English fish and chip store, and suddenly this parade of very strange-looking women appear, that's good fun. But generally, we don't watch TV. It's difficult when you say something like that and you actually try and think about what it is you do. There's just
Yeah. Like for me, work seems to be my to get away from creativity,
Okay.
because I'm there right now. I'm working at a cafe. That's like my second job. I'm in the middle of my barista-ship, so I'm trying to become a barista.
What's a barista?
It's a person that makes the coffee and stuff like that.
Okay.
So like
It's like a coffee curator.
yeah, it's a bartender, but for coffee.
Okay.
Coffee and tea. So I'm in the middle of that, trying to learn that, and I am trying to get a little creative there, but they're very much so like this is the way you do it. Like
Right.
like we enjoy the enthusiasm of the creativity, but we need you to just do it. Yeah, just stop it. Just do this.
Just don't
We've
do that
heard your
anymore.
jokes. Stop them.
Exactly. Max, any last questions for Pearl?
I have so many questions. I could go on for days and days and days.
Well, Pearl's a very important man.
He is,
probably
and
has to.
has been an enormous influence in my life, and as for many of the people here in our audience today, and we usually don't have too much of an audience.
Yeah.
People were so excited that you were on the show, and also Larry Thomas, from the Soup Nazi from Seinfeld, who's on as well. People just were like, "Oh, I have to come down. Is it okay if I come?" It's like, yes, it's okay if you come. But for me, and again, thank you to Lisa for
Yes,
bringing you here. Such a pleasure. You changed the way that I looked at music as a musician, as a producer, as a woman in the music industry, because I was a classical musician.
All right.
And then I heard The Cure.
Huh.
And
it ruined it.
and
Went down from
it
there on.
absolutely did. My parents were so upset that they banned me from listening to any Cure in the house.
Right.
It was hysterical.
Wow.
In where I grew up, my mother is Egyptian, my father is Swedish. Very, traditional kind of family, in a non-traditional setting.
Right.
And at the moment that I heard The Cure, I shaved my head. I had a pink mohawk, and I was wearing combat boots and a white ball gown,
Right.
coming out down the stairs for my cotillion. And they were done. That was
Yeah.
it. It was like, how dare she? And so they blamed it all on.
Max, do you have
On
a
The
favorite
Cure.
Cure song?
Fire in Cairo.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, has a lot to do with my mother.
Well, the Cairo part,
Yeah,
the
because
Egyptian
she's from
part?
Cairo.
Okay. I would like to just say that now I'm very specific, but on the Staring at the Sea album, the live version of A Night Like This is...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, the guitar on that. Oh, do you know who did that?
No.
Gee.
You can
That.
tell me.
Some drunk.
But just like the way that riff, just the down, down, down. Oh man, it brings chills to me. Chills to me. Chills.
It
to
is
me.
actually very, when you do play it live, it is actually one of those songs that does put a hair on edge, and I did enjoy playing that live. It was, a very powerful song.
Yeah.
And again, actually, with Fire in Cairo, on the last tour we did, last tour I did, the end section of the night, we went right back to the very, very early songs and got our tinny guitars out, and Fire in Cairo was good fun. Just brought back a lot of memories when we were first starting.
Yeah.
And it was good, and it was funny enough because we do. I don't know if you've ever been to one of our shows, but
8.
they can go.
Yeah.
Up to
I've been to 8 shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they go up to 3.5 hours
Yeah.
sometimes,
Mhm.
depending how
They're not long enough.
before they can kick us off.
Right.
It really depends on curfews of the place
Right.
as for the band. But introducing this end section, they're all really high tempo and fiery songs. So you've gone through a whole leg of 3 hours of whatever, and then suddenly to get back onto the energy spot, and it's quite invigorating. Exhausting, but invigorating. By the end of a tour, you've finished a tour.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Honestly, I could have you on for another 4 more hours, but we do have another guest, and I want to be very welcoming to him, and I don't want to,
No, it's fine. That's been nice.
But anytime you're back here in Los Angeles, or
Okay.
you want to invite me out to eat some fish and chips, I'm down.
We'll have to check your wardrobe beforehand.
That's right.
Dude, please, because you know what? I think that's another thing that I need. I still have so
You don't
much.
need my wardrobe, honestly.
I don't know. Maybe I do. We'll see. What size pants are you? Right now I'm a size 28.
Oh, no idea.
Maybe we can switch out or something. I don't know. But yeah, that would be fun to be okay, let's put together an outfit or something like that. Because I don't know. I feel that your style of dress is so just radical, whereas mine's is just very not bland, but it still has its place, but it's more more reserved, I want to say. But still stylish. So I'd be curious to go out with you and get dressed up, and because it attracts attention. You attract attention.
Never really try to, but it just seems to be
Right.
like that. We've always, as a band, we always dressed just as you do, I don't think anybody ever went on stage changing to go on stage.
Right.
We just, how our lifestyle was, we just got together and played, and obviously more people become aware of it, and then people emulate it and whatever, and so then it becomes, it turns into another thing.
There's people all over the place that are copying your
really
style.
bad hairstyles.
It was funny. My girlfriend Nina Williams, and a huge shout out to her right now because she just lost her mom this weekend, and with cancer. So, want to send love to her. She when she was a huge fan of The Cure and so in love with Robert that she would cry. She would just sit in a corner and cry about him. And I would tell her,
Yeah, I've done
Nina, yeah, right? You just, first off, you're in love with the wrong person because you should be in love with Pearl. Because everybody should be in love with Pearl.
Well,
Your
Pearl's
style-
taken.
I know,
Like, come on,
I know,
like-
but no, it was,
Robert's taken.
but
Come on, people.
it was at the time, and you know how the girls were. They had to like pick out a guy in the band that they fell in love with, and she was in love with Robert, and the rest of the world was in love with you,
Oh,
and for good reason. So thank you for
thank you. It's been,
for making us fall in love.
Lastly, when we're talking about style, I just can't see myself waking up and saying, you know what, I got to put on a panda pennant today. Like, that's just odd to me.
Why?
I don't know. Where do you find a panda pennant? I was looking at that. I was like, that's the most oddest thing I've ever seen.
Is it?
Like, yeah.
That's, my beautiful partner gave it to me.
Okay.
And it's a reference to a really, really, even before The Cure, band I had called the Exotic Pandas. And so it's just a reference to that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thanks again for coming on the show, dude. Like, we're really trying to kick you
know.
off.
Yeah.
We're really like,
Sorry.
dude,
Yeah.
you need to leave. But as you can tell,
It's the sofa. It's
yeah, we're just so
Terribly
enthralled
comfy.
by having you here. Once again, if you want to go see Pearl's work, it's happening Thursday, March 5th from 7 to 10. Pearl, you're going to be there. You're going to be, I'm sure, shaking hands and, taking photos. Are you going to enjoy that process of meeting the fans?
I find it quite difficult to meet a lot of people. But,
Right.
And I'll be thinking of how can I get to Mel's Diner without anyone noticing. But
Right,
yeah.
right.
No, it should be good. Yeah.
Okay. So when you see Pearl, just make it quick. Just say, "Hey, what's up?" And then just
Nice
run out.
panda.
Yeah. just tell them that, and then they'll know.
Yeah.
And everybody leave Pearl alone. Okay. Just look at him and then run away.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But make sure you go check out his exhibit, and remember, he's going to be there Thursday, March 5th from 7 to 10. But the exhibit's going to be there, I guess, for another 2 more weeks. So
Yeah.
are you going to be popping into that exhibit from time to time, or are you just going to be there for that
Unfortunately,
one day?
no, because we're going away and off on other adventures.
Okay.
I'd like to have been here longer, but
Okay.
I do love this part of the world.
Okay. Well, awesome. We love you for loving this part of the world. So again, log on to mrmusichead.com, and I'm going to have the link to your website, pearl-thompson.simdif.com.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was just like, Pearl Thompson wasn't taken, like .com wasn't taken, or .org.
I'm not the world's most techno type person.
Right.
I just took whatever was available at the time. Didn't really look into it too much, but
No worries. We will have all the links on there, so not to worry.